Welcome, ladies and gents. We've had the big F1 75 event where Formula 1 got all 10 teams and new drivers for the 25 season to celebrate 75 years of the sport. In this video though, we're going to discuss my crack, a botched Mercedes tyre change, some booze and some liveries. Let's take a look. Guys, just quickly before we get into the video, I would really appreciate your subscribing to the channel. I'm not far off 10k subscribers now. Push the like if you enjoy the video and subscribe, please. It helps more than you know. Let's get to it. Firstly, what did I make of the event? Overall, I really enjoyed it. There were some bad bits. The DJ before the whole Alpine reveal, even Flavio Briatore looked a bit, what's this all about? Jack Whitehall made a really good job of it. The Max jokes straight from the start, and then we got right into it. The F1 FIA jokes with the swearing and getting Gordon Ramsay involved in that sort of stuff. He went in on the F1. He made it less corporate than we've seen some of the other sort of very straight and square car reveals that we've seen from teams do individually over the years. Overall, I did really like it to get all teams together and just really put something on, more of a show to get kickstart to the 25 season. So for me, it was much better, especially for the fans. Normally, like I say, the other stuff is just very vanilla, and I really did like this one. Let's get and do some of my liveries, the top liveries I thought from the event. The first one really that caught most people's eye, I think, was the Vija Cash App Racing Bulls outfit. They've gone all white for this. We've got scrapped the blue. It was a bit of a throwback to what we've seen. I think it was the Red Bull Honda special livery that we've seen them go white in. And to me, I really like this one. It looked like white is the new black for season 25. We've seen a lot of cars do that, but this one just really did slap. A really good job from Racing Bulls Honda. Yeah, spot on. Absolutely got everything part of that car. I really like it. We do got a little bit of the blue towards the back end, towards the rear wing, but let me know your thoughts on this one. Was your number one as well? For me, it was absolutely bang on. The second actually is the Alpine outfit, when they did a lot more blue on the back. I know we had some pink and then it just all black before, but we actually got a lot more colour this time. I think they've sort of picked up on some of the fans sort of saying we've got livery reveals and everyone's just gone pure carbon, really just to save weight. Alpine were really cutting down on that because they were heavy on their cars, but this year they've actually thrown in a good splash of blue with the pink, and I think this really is a really nice mix between what I kind of expected Alpine and the BWT pink to do all along. They've looked like they've pushed that on really well, and I think it just looks really well put together, this one for me. Third place, a bit of a surprise actually, the Sauber. I know it's a bit Marmite this, isn't it? The green, you either love it or you hate it, but much more better than the 24 car, the silly zigzag that we've seen on the engine cover. That's gone, and we seem to have got this whole front end green fusing into the full black at the rear. It just fades away nicely. I think that really good, and even we've got that whole concept with the rear wheel covered black and the front green, so they've really sort of hit home along all aspects of the car being black towards the end, rear end of the car, and green at the front. For me personally, I think this is such a big improvement from 24 that I really do like this one. Number 4, Haas. Yes, it looks a lot like the 24 livery, but they've added much more nicer bits. The front end a lot more whiter, especially higher up to the nose. The white along the side of the monocoque going up towards the side pod intakes, and they've reversed the sort of black and white with the Haas logo that we've seen just on the side pods. With now we've got a good splash of white sleeping down all the way back along the engine cover. I really do like that split. They've still got the black on the back of the engine cover, but they've sort of separated that when you look at two sides from the top of the engine cover back. I really do like the way that they've put this one together. The red looks really much nicer. We've got a full red front wing rather than we had the sort of red cut off and a bit of black and then the wing, or the nose at the front end that we've seen in 24. They've really tidied this one up, and I think I did like the 24 livery, but I think this one is so much more put together. I think they've done an absolutely fantastic job. Fifth place for me is the Williams one. a lot less black than what we saw last time out, less bitty than last year. We had sort of these cut-off bits where they tried to integrate some sort of carbon and then some blue. It's a lot more blue, the lighter blue towards the back end of the car. I really do like that, the engine cover side of it. The front end looks very similar to 24. The darker blue aspect on that, but the whole rest of it, I do like they've actually put some colour back onto the cars, much like most of the other guys. The cars that remain the same, McLaren, surprisingly, their car looks pretty much the same, but for a few sponsors here or there. Red Bull, exactly the same. Mercedes, pretty much identical. The only thing that I could really spot was massively different from the last year's car was on the air intake above the driver's head that went from the Ineos red to just a silver. Now, surprisingly, the Ineos logo has gone there. We've seen Ineos actually in some issues and pulling out of sponsorship deals with other sports teams. Toto Wolff denying that that's going to happen with Ineos, but we'd seen the logo disappear from there. So is there potential some fact to this rumour? Will they be cutting that back? Potentially. Ineos do own 1/3 of Mercedes, as does Toto Wolff and Mercedes. So are they pulling back some sponsorship funds there as well with the Mercedes, like we've seen with them do across multiple other sports? They are in a bit of trouble, aren't they, Ineos as a whole? So let's watch that space on that side. Aston Martin, I think they've gone worse than last year. The less green along the bottom side of the engine cover, I really didn't like that. They've just sort of got a bit of green and then just a straight cut off, and then pure carbon along the side of the car, and then they've got this silly silver that's just turned up out of nowhere above the airbox intake. Let me know thoughts on that one, but I thought that was a letdown, and probably the biggest letdown overall at the end of the day was the Ferrari. I was actually disappointed with this one. It's just completely gone downhill compared to, I mean, it's like I've seen on the P1 podcast, they said it took a big L when they seen this one. I think most people have seen that. I went straight onto Twitter, and my first thoughts were, instead of the white, I'd love to see the yellow. Check this iteration that came on Twitter pretty quickly after the Ferrari reveal, and I think this is probably more to my liking than what they put out with the white. Again, the white front wing, they've gone just patchy to where the HP logo is, and I don't know if that's just come really from HP. I've seen HP do have the blue logo, they've got a black logo and a mild grey one for the three sort of separate elements, and I'm surprised they've gone for this horrible blue patch that just looks awful. Their corporate colours on the Ferrari, I'd love to have just gone with the black, and that would have been blended in nicely probably with the red, but they've not done that, even potentially with the yellow. Like if you look at the so many iterations I've seen if you watch Tomo F1, his chinwag, he's done the Ferrari remake as well. I actually think he's done a much better job than Ferrari have done, which is actually really disappointing. The deep red colour on the car though, I really do like. Let me know your thoughts on that one. It's more darker red, deeper red, more blood red than we've seen last year. Although I do like last year's car more overall. I think the colour red here though is absolutely brilliant. They've stuck white on, but we've seen a number of the other teams go add white into their cars, but here it's just, for me, it's not added tastefully at all. I really, disappointed with this car in terms of livery styles. And get to the boos, well, we got massive boos for the FIA when they were mentioned up, weren't they? Probably rightly so. They've just added some silly sort of ideas and picking the nose and fights where they really just don't need to. And then surprisingly or not surprisingly, we got Christian Horner. When he came up on stage, I did feel a little bit sorry for him, but it is what it is. The fans spoke, let their feelings clear. I mean, he really sort of back to say, at least I'm glad to be here in London, even the fans didn't really get to see him. And was that the booing? Was that part of the reason that probably we didn't get to hear from Max Verstappen or Liam Lawson talk like we did for much of the other drivers? They did take a lot of their 7-minute segment up with the whole build up to the car reveal, with all these showing off the rest of what Red Bull is all about. For me personally, I did really like that, the way they put that beginning part of it together, and them escorting the sort of car to the O2 Arena for the reveal. I really like the way they did do that. They really did put a lot of effort into that. We've seen all them come together on stage, and they kind of celebrated the whole of Red Bull within that sort of reveal. So I did like the way they put that together. The car itself is pretty much identical, apart from a few logos that have disappeared and reappeared. And that's all that sort of changed on the Red Bull. But yeah, massive boost for Christian Horner. And let me know what you thought of Jack Whitehall and his mic crack jokes. Yeah, he absolutely tore into him a little bit, didn't he? I think the third time he said it probably went a bit too far. It fell a bit flat on the crowd, and that didn't come across too well even on the TV. But when he first made the initial jokes, it really got me going, and it was really lightened up what was normally expected if we just got the normal F1 presenters sort of giving up, you know, the standard conversations with the drivers. He really did make it entertainment, and I really did enjoy that part of it, because, as I say, we've all seen the F1 reveals that the team does individually, and they are a bit corporate, a bit square. So for me, this was a much better show that they put together. Will we see it again next year, or is this just sort of a one-off special for the 75 years? Who knows? Netflix was there also, so whether they push for this similar sort of event for from now onwards, will this be just norm for F1 going forward? Who knows? It did look like a good success. I mean, I tuned in for it. It was absolutely brilliant for me compared to what we've normally got, and it really just gives you that buzz that the season 25 is nearly upon us. Not long to go now, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. As always, see you next time.